What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over some tips for how you can loot the new vault POIs. I'm going to be going over kind of how I like to approach these POIs, some things you'll want to know, and then how I play each of these different mythic POIs. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below which of these new POIs is your favorite. So initially, the way I would like to play these POIs doesn't really work out. I would like to just land here, eliminate all the other players, and then after that is done, kind of worry about eliminating the boss and getting the vault. But unfortunately, that doesn't work because the boss is here from the moment the game starts, and there will always kind of be those players rushing the vault. So I feel like you can kind of play this one or two ways. You can either be that person that just tries to get in as fast as possible, eliminate the boss, get the mythic, and get out of there, or you can kind of play to gatekeep the boss and gatekeep the vault room to prevent other players from getting the key card and leaving, or from getting the mythic and leaving. And this personally is what I like to do. I like to just kind of position myself in such a way to catch players off guard who are just kind of rushing, and then from there eliminate them, and then eliminate the remaining players in the POI. And then once, you know, 90% or all the players in the POI are eliminated, that's when I kind of go and open the vault and then try to get out of there. I mostly just ignore the AI and turrets. As long as you get something to kind of break the line of sight between you and them, they usually aren't the biggest deal. Like, sure, I'll eliminate the AI if they're in my way and they're chasing me, but they don't have the best accuracy, and they usually aren't the biggest threat. So like if you're getting, like if you just landed and there's, you know, some AI there, so, like the henchmen, and then also some other players, I will definitely focus on eliminating the other players. These new vault POIs have these like breachable walls. They're big like black walls that have like cracks in them, and you can break these walls using C4, the sticky grenade launcher, shockwave grenades, and the rocket ram. And a lot of these items you'll be able to find in the heist bags that will be like strewn about the POI, and I believe these have 100% spawn rate and spawn in the same places every time. So those heist bags are going to be huge for getting the things that allow you to break the walls. We're going to start off with Relentless Retreat because I think it's like the smallest and most simple of the POIs. There's three main staircases into the vault POI. There's the north side staircase, which leads down into the vault. And there's a solid amount of loot down this path if you want to just go straight for this and run to the vault. And this is often not really that contested. Like the top part where you land in the house to get to this might be. But once you start going deep into the base, this isn't the way most players take into this. So if you did just want to rush the POI and try to get in and out, this might be a good route to do so. And also landing here could be kind of rough. Like I said, the top part of this house usually will be, you know, relatively contested. So if you don't have the greatest drop, this one might be a bit rough. There's also the central staircase, which just leads straight down to the vault. And this is a very open staircase. And then also once you go down, there's a large open room. This is personally the one that I kind of like to position myself around, because this is going to be the staircase that most players take into the POI, I feel like, or try to go into the vault. The rift is actually just outside this central staircase, which will matter when you try to leave. And then also, not only will this be the way most people take, so if you kind of cut this off, you're going to be cutting off most of the other people. When someone comes down the less contested ways, obviously they're going to start fighting the boss, so you can kind of hear that and then go and third party it. And like the way you would get into the boss room from this staircase, I feel like just has great line of sights on being able to third party anybody fighting the boss. And you kind of have that boss there as like a way to know if there are other people in the room. And then finally, there is a south side staircase, which leads into the vault. And this is another one that often isn't taken. And there is also a decent amount of loot at the entrance to this staircase. There is lasers that you'll have to dodge to get into the boss room, but this south side staircase isn't that contested. So if you wanted, you could just land here, go straight down, and then kind of make your way to where the central staircase area is, and then gatekeep that. Either way, I think if you do want to just kind of go for the playstyle where you gatekeep the boss and gatekeep the vault room, positioning yourself somewhere to cut off players coming from that central staircase is most ideal. And I do like to land somewhere on the south side of the POI. I feel like that's usually the most chill spot to land on the POI. Kind of loot up a bit and then make my way towards the central staircase, or make my way towards the south side staircase, and then from there go to where like the central staircase comes out. So Relentless Retreat, I think, is the easiest. for a lot of these POIs, you're going to have most of the people who land here just dying in that initial chaos. So if you're able to land somewhere and consistently get loot and then make your way to somewhere a little bit more safe, you're going to have a huge advantage on the other players that are just kind of, you know, running around and don't have as much of like a strategy when it comes to it, and they're just playing it, you know, how it goes. Eclipse Estate is going to be the next POI, and this one has a few ways into the vault, and this one also has the most mythics. So the way the mythics spawn in these vaults is it's just random from game to game, but each mythic spawns every game. It's just random which vault it's going to be in. So Eclipse Estate has 3 mythic spawns. The other vaults have 2. So this actually has the best chance of giving you something that you want. You know, if you just want the MK, going to the vault, which has the most spawns, is going to give you the best chances of that. It is by no means guaranteed, though. So Eclipse Estate has like a central staircase which leads down right into the boss area. The layout of this POI is kind of weird. So the central staircase is right next to the vault and the boss, and then the other 2 staircases will bring you to like the end of this hallway, or the other 2 entrances will bring you to the end of this hallway. And I know a lot of people know about the breachable wall at the bottom of the POI that kind of brings you to this hallway. I know Cypher PK highlighted that at the start of the season, so a lot of people kind of know of that as like a cheeky route into the vault. And then there's also an eastern staircase, which is usually going to be somewhat uncontested, that can bring you onto this end of the hallway. However, I don't like either the eastern staircase or the breachable wall, because this long hallway is just full of like turrets and cameras and stuff, and then lasers in some cases as well, that you have to worry about and dodge. Whereas like if you're able to get to the central staircase, I feel like it's a better way to gatekeep the vault, like I was talking about. So if you just wanted to go for the cheeky rush strat, then sure, maybe the eastern staircase or the breachable wall will be the fastest way you can do that. But if you're going down that long staircase and you have a bunch of cameras marking you and you have turrets shooting at you, and then there's somebody chilling at like the central staircase where that comes out into the boss room, they're gonna have a very easy time frying you, and you're not really gonna have much of a chance to react to this, because you have the person shooting you and then you have the turret shooting you. So you're either going to have to shoot the turret and make a lot of noise, or get shot by the turret and make a lot of noise. And then if there is somebody there to stop you, it's just rough. So I like to go for the central staircase and then just kind of hang out there, maybe kill the boss and bait the key card. And then once the POI kind of sounds like it's dying down, that's when I'll go for the vault. And one of the nice things about this vault is that there is a turret and a camera right out front of the vault that you open. And I actually like to leave these here. That way, while I'm in the vault, anybody that has to come through there will have to make noise. You know, like I was talking about before, either the turret will shoot at them and the camera will mark them, or they will destroy those things, and then again, that wastes their time and it makes noise and it gives you more of a chance to react. This is something you can do on the other vaults when you go in as well. If you're not certain on whether or not there's other players alive, you can just throw a business turret outside of the vault. And then where I like to land to kind of make this happen is I like to land on this western staircase, and there's like a chest in here, some floor loot, and then a heist bag or 2 as well. Get some loot there. Typically, when I go for this, I will get pushed by a few AI into this room, but it's okay because it is relatively secluded from the rest of the POI. It's not so open. So you can get a decent amount of loot, kill the AI, get their guns as well, and then make my way, just jump down into the bottom center part of the building and just run for that center staircase. And then, like I said, I kind of hang out there and gatekeep the rest of the POI gatekeep the vault area. Once you are ready to leave this vault, though, you can just run back the way you came, because the rift at Eclipse Estate is right next to the way I came in. And sometimes people will waste these rifts, but also sometimes they won't. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind, that if you're able to take advantage of the rifts, it's a really nice way to get out of there, and then probably go for a radio tower, whichever one is nearby the POI that you're at. So finally, that brings us to Sanguine Suites. And this one is the most complicated, I think, and has the most ways into the vault. There's the main staircase, which I would not recommend at all, because it has the most AI, it has the most turrets in the way, and it also just brings you into the boss room. And with this POI, there's a whole nother room behind the boss room that people can get in long before you did this route and eliminate the boss and like dealt with getting shot by all the turrets and stuff. So with this POI, I like to kind of try to get myself to that back vault area where the vault actually is, and not necessarily the boss room, because players coming from the boss room either have to break a breachable wall or come through the laser area, and like either way is just not ideal for them if you're already waiting on that second part. So there's the bottom of the eastern side, there's a zip line into a wall breach, and this will bring you right into the vault room. And then there's, again, another wall breach like I talked about that can bring you into the boss room from there. On the western side, there's a door that leads into a zip line and a vent that brings you into the vault room again, that second part. And this area is actually a decent spot to land. If you just wanted to land somewhere and rush that, I think this western door here and then looting that stuff is pretty good. There's not like the most loot in the world, but it's an okay amount of loot for sure. Usually at these POIs, people off spawn aren't going to be the most looted. Like, no one is going to have, you know, perfect loadout. They might if they get lucky, but it's pretty rare that people have everything they want. So sometimes with these POIs, you just got to take what you get. I think that western door is a solid rush to the vault room and then kind of gatekeep it, see what's going on. When the POI starts to die down, maybe you can eliminate the boss if no one's going for it. And then there also is a garage side entrance into a wall breach that basically brings you to where the main staircase ends. Again, I wouldn't recommend this as much because that like going from the boss room to the vault room, I feel like really sucks on this POI. And then there's also a vent on the eastern side that can lead to also where the main staircase ends, but it kind of has the same problem where going from the boss room to the vault room is just a struggle if there's already people in the vault room, and typically there's going to be a good amount of people in the vault room. And then finally, the rift for Sanguine is basically in the center of the POI. If you go to where above the center staircase is, there's this bar, and then if you go to behind that bar, there's like a little room with some barrels and a heist bag in it. And once you break the floor in there, you'll drop into the rift, and then that can take you to wherever you want to go. So that is going to be it for this POI. My favorite side to land at is going to kind of be the eastern side balcony area, and then I'll loot up a little bit, loot up the heist bag. There's like a heist bag on a pool table, and there's also a heist bag on like an AC vent that you can drop onto. And then from those, you'll definitely get something to break the wall on that like bottom zip line area that I kind of talked about. And then I get into the vault room and then, you know, hold the rest of the POI. A lot of these POIs kind of come down to just like intuition, I guess. Like when it seems like the POI is kind of died down, that's when maybe I'll go for the vault. But I like kind of having that as bait to bait the other players, and sometimes I will kill the boss and then just kind of bait the key card, like I said. So these POIs can be really ratty from time to time. I'm sure you guys have, you know, if you've experienced playing these, you know it kind of plays out like that. So I just like being the one kind of gatekeeping the vault area rather than dying to someone hiding who knows where, or just getting my game wasted because someone left with the mythic because I wasn't able to stop them. Once you're in the vault with these POIs, I like to loot the actual loot first and then get the mythic, because again, people are going to come once you open the vault, and when you grab the mythic, it triggers high alert, which turns on the like siren and the music, and then a bunch of more AI spawn. So I just don't want to have to be dealing with players while I'm dealing with that. For the most part, when the high alert goes on, you can just run past all of these AI and it's not going to matter. But I just like to get the other loot first and then get the mythic once I'm actually ready to leave. If you do have somebody on the outside of the vault camping you, EMP grenades work really well for maybe fleshing them out. And then also the new sticky grenade launcher, you can shoot the grenades at the ground near where they are, and then maybe kind of force them off of their right shoulder peak, because if you are in the vault, a lot of people will just kind of play right shoulder peak. I talked before about how maybe you could put a business turret out front if that's something you want to do, or if you're playing team game modes, maybe you can have one person kind of loot the vault while somebody else stays outside and gets ready to deal with potential third parties. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, interesting, informative. Like I said, the way I would want to play these vault POIs doesn't really work out. I feel like you either have to rush the vault or, play to stop other people from getting to the vault. I feel like those are the two more like consistent ways to play these POIs. If you did enjoy this, give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below which of these POIs is your favorite. Mine is definitely Sanguine or Relentless Retreats. I haven't really gone Eclipse Estate too much. I don't know why, it's just the one I've gone to least, but Sanguine and Relentless Retreat I actually like a decent amount. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.